everyone excited, got everyone talking, and honestly, I can't wait. I really can't wait to see what we're going to be doing tonight. We do have a bit of a preview to get our teeth into, and obviously there's quite a bit of news that's doing the rounds today that we need to have a look at as well. So if we go over and have a look at the official preview, we'll go through the matches, then we'll jump into the chat. So if we have a look, we've got Trick Williams. He is looking for payback on Pete Dunne. Then we've got the Rascalz taking on Hank and Tank and Gallus. That is a triple threat #1 contenders tag team match. Then we've got Oro Mensah taking on Lexis King. And then we've got Tatum Paxley taking on Rosemary. So Rosemary is back again. So another week for Rosemary. It looks like we're not quite done. I know that she was on the show last week, of course, but didn't know that we would be looking to use her again so soon. But Tatum Paxley against Rosemary, Oro Mensah against Lexis King, Rascalz taking on Hank and Tank and Gallus, Trick Williams looking for payback against Pete Dunne. No word on Giulia. Don't know if Giulia is going to be actually involved tonight. I hope she is. But no, I haven't seen any confirmation that she's going to be around. I hope it's not going to be like a video package where they just show us what happens. I hope like that we're actually going to move that story forwards. I'm sure we will. I'm sure she'll be on this show, but nothing on the official preview. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing what we get tonight. And hello. Brony said, I'm excited for Giulia tonight. Yeah, well, hopefully we get her. We should get her. I don't know if it's been confirmed anywhere else, but it is not on the official preview. But people are saying that Jordynne Grace is going to defend her TNA Knockouts World Championship on NXT in an open challenge. So it looks like we should be getting Jordynne Grace next week. So that's interesting news. We can watch that, actually. Let's see if we can ping over and watch that. Nope, we don't want that one. We want that one.
Next week is a big week for wrestling. It's WWE Week on the USA Network, which means that NXT, Raw, and SmackDown will all air on USA. But I have something that's going to make it an even better week. I have something that's going to make it a historic week. I spoke to Ava, and it's official. For the first time ever, I'll be defending my TNA Knockouts Championship in an open challenge match on NXT. I want to continue testing myself against the best. So if there's a woman there who thinks that she can fill my shoes, I am more than happy to give her a shot. See you soon, WWE Universe. Next week is a big week for wrestling.
Boom. So I hadn't seen that. So yeah, I am interested. The only problem, well, it's not a problem. The only thing is that I don't think that I wouldn't even want the NXT person winning that. I said at the weekend, for me personally, I'm not crazy at the idea of a TNA talent winning an NXT title, kind of taking it back to TNA like a prize, like a scalp. And so, you know, I'm not really looking for that. Equally, I think that works the other way round as well. I don't think TNA fans would appreciate if an NXT talent was to win the TNA title and then sort of parade as if, like, we're better than you. I think TNA fans want TNA to be respected, and NXT fans want NXT to be respected. And this partnership, it can work out for both, but there's definitely areas that could be a little bit uncomfortable, shall we say. There are areas that we're like, oh, don't know that we want to do that, or we've got to be careful with that, or we don't want to turn this into an us versus them situation, which a lot of people have said that they really want NXT versus TNA. And I understand why, because it would present a lot of great dream matches. I think if you do that, you need 6 matches, and at the end of the evening, it needs to end 3-3. It needs to be that TNA and NXT have both had the same number of wins. No one's got bragging rights. It ended 3-3. Because, to be honest, TNA fans are not going to want to be seen as being less than NXT. And NXT fans are not going to want NXT to be seen as being like less than TNA. In my opinion, anyway, that's how I feel about it. There is no wrestling war between NXT and TNA. But yeah, I don't know. It's tricky. It's tricky. So I would not be looking for an NXT talent to win that title. But obviously, as this relationship continues, we'll get more settled in with it. We'll get more used to it, and maybe we'll get to the point where titles actually changing brands, won't be anything. But for me, that's how I feel about it. This is why I was not overly keen on Joe Hendry winning at the weekend. Equally, I would not be overly keen on someone from NXT winning that title and taking it away from TNA. So those are my thoughts on it. But very interesting news. I'm going to add that to a folder, because that is going to be in Unseen, because that's quite big news, isn't it? TNA Championship going to be featuring next week on NXT. Right, James said TNA fans have been burnt by AEW doing that exact thing. Yeah, I can understand it. And, I don't really like when NXT make those little comments about like TNA. I mean, it's all designed, like when Wes says you're just a TNA wrestler to Zachary Wentz, those kind of things, they're disrespectful, but they're meant to be disrespectful. They're meant to be disrespectful, and it's meant to be a bit of a put down. Obviously, ultimately, Wentz went on to get the victory. So him being just a TNA wrestler, well, it shows what just a TNA wrestler can do. They can beat an NXT wrestler, right? So I think they only do that when they know that it's going to work out in the long run. But I can understand it. I think it's one where you got to just be a little careful, just a little careful. So we'll see. Kim Shane said, I have just been notified by DDT Pro that one of 100,000 subscribers that won the DDT Pro Iron Man Heavyweight Championship. Oh, what you are? You are one of the 100,000 subscribers that won the DDT Pro. I don't know what it means. I don't know what that means, but I'm excited for you. So, Kim Strains, congratulations on becoming the new DDT Pro Iron Man Heavyweight Champion. Well done. I expect to see promos, and I expect to see you defending that championship in our community. Thank you. Russell Andy said, Daze, did you hear CM Punk say that the bracelet was fake? No, I did not. I know that there is a fake account doing the rounds that had put that out, but I've not seen anything unless it's dropped in like the past hour, or we haven't quite seen it yet. Yeah, I saw a fake account put out a post about that. There is actually a belief that it was fake, because there was one that was on like a white band, and this was on like a black band. So there is a belief it was actually fake. Whether that means that they're going to use that as part of the story, God, I hope not. I hope not. I hope it's not a swerve and this flipping bracelet's going to return. I'm wondering if they did it because, it has featured a lot this year. And if you are going to do a CM Punk exhibition in the future, you might want that bracelet. So you might not wanted to have destroyed the real bracelet. You might have just kept that for the warehouse or something. So it might be part of his collection in the future. I don't know. It wouldn't shock me if they did it for that reason. So I don't know. Where did you see it? Where did you see Punk saying it? Has he put some on Instagram or something? Because if it's that, then no, I've not seen it. The only thing that I've seen has been a fake post that did the rounds from these flipping fake channels that have popped up over the past week or so. Random Tube said sources. Daze say the NXT match has been cancelled this second Tuesday. His debut moved to SmackDown. Who are we talking about, Random Tube? Let's go down. I'm still laughing at the talent meeting about swearing, said Nita Nitro. And the minute Sammy confronted Gunther, he dropped an F-bomb. Well, there we go. He was paying very close attention then, wasn't he? Kim Shane said, it's a 24/7 belt, and I'm waiting for them to send it to me. I am one of 35 UK subscribers. Problem is, if one of the other 100,000 loses it, then I lose it as well. Okay. Well, I hope you have a very long and successful reign, Kim Strains. Will said, did you hear about Odyssey got fired? I'm waiting for confirmation on that, because at the moment it's only Brian Alvarez that's reporting that. People seem to be getting a bit confused about Odyssey being fired and Odyssey being removed from the roster. So Odyssey being removed from the roster, as many of you know, there is an online roster, the Superstars page on the WWE website. He got removed from that yesterday. That doesn't mean he's been fired. It just means, like, something's going on, because there's no reason to remove them. You would only take them off if you're, I don't know, updating the render or moving them between brands or moving them to the alumni page, right? So clearly, for him to not be there and for him to be missing, something is going on, right? But it does not mean categorically that he has been fired. So it's done the rounds that he's been removed from the roster, and people have took that as in he's been fired, but they're not the same thing. So the only person that has reported that he has been fired, actually fired, is Brian Alvarez. Brian Alvarez has come out and said that he's heard that he's been fired, but no one else has come out and supported that yet. I've not seen Fightful come out and say, yeah, this is true. I've not seen PW Insider or WrestleVotes or Wrestling News, or I've not seen anyone come out, right, and say, yeah, that is correct. He has been fired. It's still just Brian Alvarez's lone comment, like, I've been told this. So that's fine. I mean, Brian Alvarez is, I don't know what he's like as a source, to be honest. I mean, I think he does have connections in the industry. You know, he was a wrestler for a long time. I'm sure he knows a lot of people. So him saying that is noteworthy, but it's not enough for me to go, yeah, he's definitely gone. He's definitely fired. I mean, there's been nothing from WWE. So at the moment, that's kind of where we are with it. The video that I did earlier is still the latest news, apart from Brian Alvarez has come out and said what he said, that he's been told that they've been fired. But I have just been doing the Wrestling Escape Pod, so for the past hour and a half, I've not seen any kind of updates. So I'm about an hour and a half behind. So if there has been anything else that's kind of come out in that time, I've not seen anything yet. But last I saw hour and a half ago was that. Nothing apart from Brian Alvarez. I mean, for those that haven't seen the video, of course, I'm presuming that everyone had wrongfully. You may not. You may have just walked through the door. But apparently Odyssey got allegations against him of domestic violence now. It's worth, again, highlighting the word allegation, because I don't know where they've come from, how serious they are. Like, I just don't know. I don't know if he is admitting guilt to them or saying that he's completely innocent. I don't know what the truth is. I just know, according to Fightful, according to Sean Ross Sapp, these are the allegations. They are domestic violence. There is, and I can show you the folder, actually. I mean, this is the great thing of having this second screen. It means I can go into stuff like this. This is the only thing that I've seen. If we click on this. So this is someone who has, you can see, just put out all these kind of messages. Like, he left me bruised up with a slight concussion while on vacation for his birthday. It says the truth about Odyssey Jones. That's their name. Their profile name is the truth about Odyssey Jones. That was posted on the 19th of July. Wrestling News said this Twitter account has been tweeting for months about Odyssey Jones. Unclear if this was what WWE officials saw or if there is an official police report. So there's the account about Odyssey. It's actually called About Odyssey. Would it be in replies? July 19th. The world needs to know the real Odyssey Jones, blah, 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 is a woman beater. I could have died whilst on vacation with him, and he wants to pretend like nothing happened and try to keep me shut. The mental distress from your abuse needs to be known. Odyssey Jones is a woman beater, almost killed me whilst on vacation. I have every proof you need to back this statement up. Left me bruised up, concussion, nothing but a woman beater. I will no longer be quiet. This was all on July 19th. Busy putting hands on women whilst on vacation. Kind of like the crazy bruises you gave me. DNA all over it. Odyssey Jones beating up on a woman. Seen that one yet? Stay tuned. WWE, your boy Odyssey is an abuser and a woman beater. Almost killed me on vacation. So yeah, I mean, look, just loads. All on July 19th. Look, July 19th, July 19th, July 19th, July 19th. All on July 19th, this. Again, just allegations. All of that on July. So they joined in July. All of that one day. And that was it then. That was it. Everything here is just from that July 19th. Don't know. That might have nothing to do with it. That might have nothing to do with it. But that is the only thing that I've seen doing the rounds is that. That's the only thing that I've seen. So it's obviously a terrible situation. And, you know, you don't want to believe that there's any truth to it. But, you know, I mean, if he has been removed, that's also tricky, isn't it? Because if he has been removed, WWE might remove him because they just don't want the smoke. They just don't need the bad PR. I mean, they've got enough bad PR as it is. So they might look at it and just go, do you know what? We don't need that. Or it could be that there's police reports and there's actual evidence to kind of back up those claims, you know? So it's one that I just don't have any details on. I just don't know if he is guilty of that, and we're going to have to wait and see, obviously. But yeah, the latest from Brian Alvarez was that he's been let go. But again, we're going to have to wait and see, aren't we? We're going to have to wait and see if that is true, because no one else has kind of come forward from what I've seen and said that's what's happened. Aaron, hello, said, would you recommend me watching NXT? I liked No Mercy, says Aaron. I honestly think it's a mixed bag. I think this year in particular, if we look at the show scores, the majority of shows that have scored the lowest from the community have been NXT shows. Recently SmackDown shows. But this year, it's been largely NXT shows. I feel like they have their moments. I feel like there are ups and downs. I think you can have a really good show, and this might be a really good show tonight. We might be entering a really good period. We're about to move to the CW network. I would honestly say now is probably as good a time as any to give it a look, because when we go to the CW network, which isn't, I mean, is that next week? We've got Punk, who's going to be around. Is it the week after that? We got Randy Orton, who's going to be around. Like, they're really launching big. They're going to be putting their best foot forward. So the quality of the shows, which, you know, I don't think they'll be able to stay at that level, but the quality of the shows should be really good. Last year, NXT was amazing because we were trying to sell the thing, and we were getting Becky down, and we were getting New Day, and there was like loads of things that were happening. We were trying to sell the show. And so ratings were really important. Buzz was really important. And you can just tell that the show sold. And then they went, right, well, that's that done then. And then all of a sudden it just went poof, and it just kind of crashed a bit, to be honest. But now, obviously, we're getting to the move. It might be picking up again. We know Giulia's about to come in. We've got this partnership with TNA. We've got the Stephanie Vicor about to come in. Like, there's things that are happening. I'd say now's as good a time, to be honest. I thought No Mercy was a very good show. Very, very good show. And I do think that this week looks like it should be good. And then we know the move to CW should be good as well. So, yeah. Lots of things to be excited about. But I'm not going to lie to you, and I'm not going to say that it's amazing and it's perfect every single week what wrestling show is. But it has been a mixed bag in 2024. But I think I would say now's as good a time as any. So hope that helps. Random Tube said your debut match. Oh, right. They heard your complaints about being on NXT. So they have moved it to SmackDown on the 6th week of November. Oh, that makes more sense now. My debut match. Yeah, I'm going to mess them all up. A lot of people are saying I am the Brock Lesnar replacement because obviously Brock's all caught up in stuff. So they need a monster. And look at me. So, yeah, I'm going to be coming in. I'm going to be the next Brock Lesnar. I don't know that it's going to quite hit the same. It might be, like a Gilbert situation. But listen, I'm going to try my best. I'm going to try my best. And we'll see where we go from there. So, Random Tube, shout out to you. It's a shame that got leaked. These dirt sheets, eh? These blooming dirt sheets. Letting out the news. So, yeah, Random Tube, shout out to you, my friend. Lisa said, would you say you prefer Vince's 1999 booking or Triple H's 2024 booking? Well, I think they're both flawed. I think Vince's 1999 booking... I mean, look, we can just talk Attitude Era in general, can't we? I think that era was not great for women's wrestling, stating the obvious. I think that it was really exciting at the top end, though. You've got Stone Cold, you've got The Rock, you got Triple H, you got the Mr. McMahon character, big shows around, Jericho's coming in at that point. I think that the top end of the cards was really good. Then you just had bonkers stuff going on, really, in the mid-card. It was just, the Hardcore Championship and stuff along those lines. It was just a bit weird, really. Val Venus and whatnot. I kind of feel like the shows were unmissable. You never knew what was going to happen. That excitement was great. And I don't know that we have that now. We get moments of it, but I don't know. Can we say that like SmackDown this week is going to be unmissable? Like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Anything? I don't think the shows have that anything could happen kind of feeling. That's what you had in the Attitude Era. You just didn't know what you was going to get. Anything, you've got to tune in because, anything could happen. Anything could, but everything feels a lot more safe now. Everything feels a lot more like tighter and more professional, more corporate, right? I'd say that's the negative for this era, is that it feels safer, more corporate. I think the Attitude Era coloured outside of the lines, and that was not always a good thing, but sometimes it was. Whereas this era, we very much just stick in the lines. Only occasionally have we dared to kind of go over a little bit. But other than that, it's all very tidy. So I would say that's a win for 99. But I think a win for today would be the fact that we have just come through a really bad period. And this just feels so refreshing as a result. And I do also think we are dealing with maybe the best story we've ever had in the Bloodline. I think you could compare the Bloodline story to any story in the history of WWE, and I think it stands up, if not exceeds. So I think the Bloodline story, which might have, we're struggling when Roman's not around right now, but we know Roman will come back. We know he'll start up his Bloodline. We know it will be Bloodline, and we know it's going to bang. I mean, when Jay and Sammy and Jimmy and Roman all reunite with Heyman, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. So I look at like that. I look at the quality of the wrestling as well. I mean, if you look at like the greatest matches in WWE history, I don't think you're going to find a great deal from 1999, 1998, 2000. I don't think you're going to find loads from that, because I don't think the quality of the matches was the focus. That wasn't the focus. I think you'll find a lot more great in-ring action now. I think it's more professional, and I think that the quality of the matches are better. So I'd say the storyline and quality of the matches, I think, are better now. But I think the shock value and the unpredictability of the Attitude Era was better back then. I think it's really difficult to compare the two, because they're very different. And it's hard for me because I'm not a massive lover of the Attitude Era, but I do appreciate what it gave us when we had it, right? But you got to remember, it's not that long. Attitude Era, we talk about Attitude Era like it's this massive thing, but it was like 3-4 years. So imagine the moment we went into pandemic, right? Moment we went into lockdown to now. That was the Attitude Era. That was the Attitude Era. It's not, all things considered, it ain't that long. Considering how much people talk about it and how revered it is and how much of an impact on the business it had, it's not the longest period in the world. So I think that for me, if I had to choose, I'd probably, it's difficult. It's really difficult. It's really difficult. I think I might choose then, only because if I go back to then, there's lots about it I don't like, but it was just such an exciting time. If I go back to then, like, everything was exciting. The music at that point, I loved culture, like what was happening with TV and, you know, shock TV and shock jocks and all that kind of stuff. I feel like the world is very safe now. The world gets easily offended now. And that's, you know, okay. Like, you know, you do you. But I don't know. It was just a more exciting time. It was a more unpredictable time back in like the late 90s. And so I've got like a fondness for the 90s. I grew up in the 90s. So like I remember the TV. I remember the films. I remember the music. And the wrestling was fantastic, but as I keep saying, the women's wrestling was no good. There wasn't much women's wrestling, and I love women's wrestling, so there wasn't much women's wrestling, so I would miss that by going back then. And I don't think that the mid-card was really that great. But then I look at SmackDown right now, and I'd be like, you know, we've just gone through a period where Logan Paul has been the mid-card champion, so it's hard to kind of celebrate that, you know? And we've just had, like, Sammy having the Intercontinental. That's been all right, but, I mean, it's nothing that amazing, is it really? Gunther, I thought, did a great job. Gunther's been an amazing champion, but I don't know. I think Attitude Era just gets it. Metrics, I think, might say this. Not viewing figures, but, like, money. Money would say this is the best era ever, of course. Inflation. But, oh, God, it's hard. It's tricky. I think if anyone was to say, no, I'd take this over Attitude Era, I'd be like, I totally get it. I totally get it. I think you've got to look at NXT as well. We didn't have NXT back then. We've got NXT now. That's a big addition. It's a fun conversation, that, you know. I like that as an opinions video. Well, it'd be pointless for me, because if someone said, what era do you want to go back to? I want to go back to the golden era. Everyone knows I love 85 to 93. The golden era is that's where I am. No doubt. I have no doubt on that. No doubt at all. 85, 93, no doubt in my mind. That's where I'm going to. But the next... Ruthless Aggression was amazing. Ruthless Aggression era was fantastic. Really enjoyed Ruthless Aggression. PG era, nah. There was... It's not a terrible era, but it's not... I don't think it hangs. But Yeah, it's a good conversation, that. I feel like we could spend a bit too long on that topic, so it's probably best we abandon it. Because Delwyn has jumped in with more of his, well, just Delwyn generosity. That might be what we call it going forward, Delwyn generosity. Because of how generous Delwyn continues to be. So, Delwyn, you know what I'm going to say. You don't have to do it. I've said that till I'm flipping blue in the face. I can only imagine that Delwyn won the lottery. I can only imagine that he sat literally like Scrooge McDuck on just a mountain of cash. And he has just decided to be a generous goat with it. So, Delwyn, I really appreciate it, my friend. Massively appreciated. But again, you don't have to do it. But let's see what Delwyn said. Hey, Daze. Hi, Delwyn. So much buzz around Giulia, but another big star that she absolutely will sign is Jordynne Grace, because she's under a TNA contract and that expires in January, and now she's an open challenge on NXT. She tweeted it about 20 minutes ago. Yeah, we saw that, but yeah, I think that she is going to sign, and I think that they have kind of, listen, no disrespect to TNA, if NXT come to her and say don't re-sign, we want you, I don't know if we can do something for TNA. I mean, like, we're taking a top talent from them. This is a partnership, so I said, could we take Jordynne, and could we maybe loan them someone for 6 months whilst they then try and bring through someone else, I mean, you're not going to be able to replace Jordynne, but they could have an Izzy Dame, right? It's not really a great replacement, but she's got a good size to her. I think you could get some out of her. We clearly see some in her because we're building her up, we're working with her, we're training her. So if we was to take Jordynne Grace, could we not leave them high and dry? Could we send them someone for a little bit, right? But the thing is that after NXT, it's Raw, it's SmackDown, it's do you know what I mean? You're off around the world. You're off to France, you're off to Germany, you're off to wherever, right? And I just can't see why Jordynne Grace would not want to pursue that. So some wrestlers don't, but I would imagine she will. And I don't think there'll be much of a decision to be made there. So I think she'll come to NXT. I love her. I was so excited when she was in the Rumble and when she was in NXT, and I'll be really excited to see her again next week. As I said, I love women's wrestling, and I love legit talent. And, well, she's just got it in spades, doesn't she? You can't deny what she brings. I mean, she's just got size, and she's a good wrestler as well. So I really rate her. I really like her. If NXT do get her, then they're getting a fantastic talent. And as I said, hopefully we can just throw something back to TNA. Because I don't want this relationship to go sour. I don't want TNA to feel like they're... I will kind of stand up for NXT if people say that TNA's being mistreated and whatever. Because I think that it's gone quite well so far for both sides. But I don't want it to be a case that it's seen that TNA are being abused and all that kind of stuff, This should be mutually beneficial. So, I don't know. Again, just like I said earlier, it's kind of... You're walking on eggshells a little bit. It's quite clear why we're working with them. We're working with them because we want their talent. We want their talent to come to us. And one of the ways that you can do that is by getting them in the system, getting them used to life in NXT, getting used to the trainers, used to the performance center, getting them used to working with Sean and all of that familiarity. And then when their contract comes up, they're free to decide where they want to go. But if they've got a competitive offer from AEW and WWE, are they going to go to the company that they've not worked at and is, selling out 3,000, 4,000 shows, right? Or are they going to go to WWE, where potentially you could go off and do WrestleManias, SummerSlams, Royal Rumbles, competitive contract offer, and you've already been there and you've worked with them and everything. So I feel like that's a big factor. It's to make sure that talent doesn't go to AEW and that we get it instead. So I think, like, yeah, I agree with you. I think there's a good chance that we get her. I'd be very excited about that. And I just hope that it ends up working for everybody involved. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it plays out. I mean, it's one that I could totally see happening. It's one that I hope happens, but I hope it works for everybody. So, Delwyn, shout out to you. That is true. Open challenge announced for next week on NXT. It is WWE week next week if you are just joining us. Obviously, USA Network has got all 3 brands next week, which is obviously big news. So that means that we are going to go big next week for WWE. USA Network have put together, I think I heard they're doing some documentaries and shows and like other stuff as well as actually just airing Raw. And they've got all the shows. They've got Raw, they've got SmackDown, and they've got NXT. They've got them all next week. So that's why we're doing WWE week. So I don't know how that's going to reflect on the channel. To be honest, I mean, we'll do the shows, but I don't know, like, I don't think we're going to be doing anything extra. Because I think all the other stuff they're showing is stuff that's been shown before. But that's why they're doing it. That's why they're doing this TNA Open Challenge. Because they want to go big for next week. So that probably bodes well, doesn't it, for Raw and for SmackDown? Which actually, Raw is being branded as the season premiere next week. And we've got the 8-man tag with Wyatt Six. So you can already start to see that we are making next week a big week. And that would be the reason why. So, Delwyn, appreciate it, man. I hope that's... well, I don't think it helped. You brought the point to the table anyway, but I agree. I think she'd be brilliant. Loopy Girl, hello. Loopy Girl said, Daze, thank you. Best wrestling channel ever. Loopy Girl, thank you, my friends. I'm glad that you enjoy hanging out and that everyone enjoys just spending a bit of time here. And yeah, I think we're in a really good place. I'm really loving how things are kind of going at the moment. I think we've got like some really fun streams. I'm loving like the opinions channel. I've got like loads of clips fired up and ready for the clips channel. Obviously Unseen, I think there's been some really good news. That always helps. If ever it's like quiet, then it can be that Unseen is a bit quiet, but there's been some really big stuff that's happened and continuing to happen as well. So yeah, good. Everything's good at the moment. Long may that continue. It's just a shame we don't have a PLE for September. Did you try the McDonald's Sprite? No, I didn't. I wish they could deliver it in the UK. No, I didn't. Did you tell me to? You probably did, and I probably forgot. But no, I don't think we went to McDonald's at all. We went to Wendy's because I wanted to try a Baconator because I'd never tried one. And it was lovely. I enjoyed it. I ended up having 2. Matt said, is it hard for you to kayfabe being a nice guy with your gangster backgrounds? That's a really great question, Matt. Thank you. That's a really great question. No, actually, because I think part of gang life is when you're in a gang, you treat those that are in the gang with you like brothers and sisters. Like, it's one of those where, you know, you would die for them. And that's something you have to consider when you get into a gang, is that I might have to die for this person and they might have to die for me. And so you are very close and very nice to those that are in the same like gang as you. And you're gonna like this, kids. I see this as a gang. Yeah? I see this as a gang. I think we're all one big gang. I'm not saying that I would die for any of you, but what I am saying is it's very easy for me to be nice towards you. But I think if you're an outsider, if you're someone outside of the community, then I would mess you up. I would mess you up and it would get pretty brutal, let me tell you. Yeah? Pretty brutal. I would murk some people, right? There would be some murking that would be going on. So no, it's a great question, but I think I get the vibe that you're new to gang life. And the truth is that when you are in a gang, it is a family. And you do have that love for one another. So hopefully that's helped my friends. Ashma said, I love the community. Yeah, that's how it is in a gang. Russell Andy said, we need to make Daze gang merchandise. Daze gang, yes. Yes. Although I'm not a mark for myself, so I don't really need Daze being in it. I don't mind it being like a different name. Do you know what I mean? I don't need it to be like Daze Gang. Mainly because if the police come calling, I don't want my name associated with it, right? Because if they looked at it, they'd like, who's Daze? And then, of course, the fingers all, you know what I mean? Like 1,000 fingers come pointing in this direction. And it's like, you know, I'm the one that's going to get sent down. So it would be better, actually, if we were called something else. Something else gang. Whatever. We can be open to suggestions on that. William said, a gang. Daze threatens to mess me up if I leave the community. No one's allowed to leave. I don't know if you knew that, by the way. We are very welcoming, but you're not actually allowed to leave. So sorry about that. Probably should have mentioned that at the start. But yeah, that is true. If you do leave the community, I will hunt you down. Jamie said, I was thinking of doing a wrestling jam stream where I would do something similar, but now I don't want to be out of the gang, says Jamie. Well, you can do that, Jamie. You can do that. I mean, I don't own the copyright to these streams, do I? So you can do that. I'm just trying to think if that would result in you being removed from the gang. Don't know. I'm quite a fickle person. It depends how I feel on the day. Right now, I'd be all right with it, so you'd be absolutely fine. But honestly, I might wake up tomorrow and it could be a massive problem. So then you would be murked. Oh, I don't know. It's tricky. It's tricky, that one. I'd say you do you. You do what you feel is the right thing to do. I think you would be all right, to be honest. I think you'd be all right. I think you'd be all right. Daze, how would you book Rhea and Jay going forward, says Paul. How would you book Rhea and Jay? I would I'd make them have sex. That's what I would do. I like the idea of Jay, who's actually married, crying his eyes out because he doesn't want to take things that far, and I would just be laughing my head off going, you've got to, otherwise you're fired. And I'd really be putting that kind of pressure on them. So that's what I would book in, like kind of Vince McMahon style. Where that would end me up, I don't know. But I would be, you know, you got to take your shots in life, haven't you? So I would do that. So it's probably best I'm not booking. But if I was like a rational booker and not like some sort of evil overlord, I would probably have them just sort of flirt a little bit, just little looks and hugs and glances and references. And then eventually something would come and separate them, in the sense of, you know, Jimmy comes calling. Yeah. Jimmy comes calling and that's it. Jay's got to go. And then, of course, we're into Bloodline versus Bloodline. And that's it. It's done. You know, you could always go back to it later, little bumping backstage to each other. And you could just have it kind of keep going forever, where they're just always quite flirty, quite nice with each other. But, yeah, I wouldn't like have them go in a full-blown relationship or anything like that. I wouldn't have anything like that. Only because, like, again, getting out of it is going to be a bit of an issue, isn't it? And I think it's good to just keep teasing, like, because you want people to be like, oh, God, I wish they would just get together. It's a bit like the whole Ross-Rachel thing, you know? Everyone for years wanted Ross and Rachel to get together, and they wanted that very early on. And he went off with other people, she went off with other people. And, of course, at the end, people were like, do you think they're actually going to get together now? Do you think they'll end it that way? And that was kind of like what people were desperate for. And I would just do that. I'd take a leaf out of that book. You just have them like be flirty, bumping into each other, being really civil, really like, you know, and then that's it. You move on. And people would be like, God, why won't they just put them together? It's because that's where the money is, baby. That's where the money is. Brony said, Daze, what do you think the main event of Bad Blood will be? I'm praying it isn't Cody Solo. Well, I'm wondering if it'll be Punk against Drew. I mean, that has been very heated. So I'm wondering if they go in that direction. It might not be Cody against Solo. But then saying that, Cody didn't main event the last one, did he? So they might want him to main event at Bad Bloods. So it could be. It could be. But if I was a betting man right now, I'd be looking at the Punk Drew matchup. Bang Wang Daze gang. Well, I would take the Daze out. Bang gang? Do we need Wang? We might need Wang. I'm not sure. Bang gang. Bang Wang gang. I don't know about that. I don't know about Bang Wang gang. That feels like it might have a bit of cultural appropriation about it, which, as you've just heard on the Wrestling Escape pod, I'm all for. But, I don't know. Bang gang? I mean, I wouldn't Google that. I'd imagine there's probably a few things that are already up that are labelled Bang gang. Yeah, I'm going to check. Yeah, I think you could tell that I was going to check, and I am going to check. Bang gang. Not as bad as you thought, actually. There's a French film that's called Bang Gang, a modern love story. What if I go images? No, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. This is where we are. Yeah, look, Bang Gang. I mean, again, I'm having to be very careful. Ooh, well, it's risky, isn't it? Ooh, lots of bang bang gang. Ooh, balloons. Ooh, yeah, no, it's fine. Fine. Look at that. See, you lot have got dirty minds fearing the worst. I'm just over here, just like, psh. Let's image search that, shall we? Right. Cameron Wrestling, hello, my friends. I hope you are well. Oh my god, that's loud. That's coming out of my headphones. Turn that down. Yes, Cameron, shout out to you. Hello, Daze. Hello, Cameron. Appreciate the support, my friends. Let me just start both of these because we are going over to the show. It's happening. It's a happening. Hello, Daze. Do you watch Smile 2 trailer? No, I've never even heard of it. I've never even heard of Smile 1. Bum, bum, bum. What's Cameron saying? Cameron Wrestling 20, says Daze. Just wanted to give back to the channel. Well, thank you, my friends. Also, have you seen some of the stuff that Hogan said about Benoit on Logan's podcast? Hogan is ruining his legacy even more with what he's saying. It's sad. Yeah. I mean, the only comment that I saw about Benoit was he said, look, people forgave Benoit and look what he did. So, you know, people would forgive you. I was stunned at how just off Hogan was. Hogan came out with the comment like, man, you're going to be such a big baby face to Logan. I can't wait for them to turn you. He was like, imagine me being in trouble and my mustache is being like shaved, and then you come out and make the save. Like, wow, that what a moment that would be. And in his mind, he was saying like, look what happened with Roman. Roman was a heel. Look how much they love him now. And it's like, he doesn't get it, does he? He doesn't get it. He doesn't know enough about what's going on in the world to understand and get it. He doesn't get it. Because with Roman, people were against him because he was being pushed down our throats. He was like, you know, Vince was like, this is the next guy. And we were like, no, we don't want him. And so it was a case of like over pushing Roman. So turn him heel and then turn him face, and it's worked. People love him now, okay? But that's not going to land with Logan because we don't hate Logan because he's been over pushed. People hate him because of the Crypto Zoo scam and Pure, or whatever it is, Prime, flipping caffeinating children, over caffeinating children. Obviously, there was the whole dog thing not that long ago, and the suicide forest, and I mean, it's just a never-ending stream of just awful things that Logan has done or been connected with. So, turning him face ain't going to change any of that, is it? Turning him face ain't going to erase those things. That's why people boo him. And he's an influencer as well. He's an influencer. I do this for a living, and I know how I feel about influencers being on, like, pro wrestling. I would hate them. I would hate it, and I would hate them. I would hate myself. If I was involved in any way in WWE, I would hate myself. So I think that there's lots of reasons why you just cannot compare the Roman situation and, like, Logan. But Hogan just doesn't get that. He was so off. So off. And he even said, I think they should put the world title on you later this year. It's like, it's mental. And then he comes out with the comment about, well, you know, look at what Benoit did and the fans forgave him. Online, I was like, what fans? What fans? The only fans I've ever seen stick up for Benoit are the fans that don't believe he did it. There's conspiracy out there that some people think that it's so horrific what happened that Benoit could not have done it. And he must have been set up. And it must have been a setup. It must have been. They can't accept that he was guilty of it, right? That he would do that. And so they have gone with that of, like, you know, it can't have been him. I honestly have never seen anyone accept that Benoit had done it and then forgive him for it. I don't know where those fans are. I've never seen those. You either believe that he did it and you hate him, or you never believed he did it to begin with. Those are the two groups of fans that I've seen. That's all I've ever seen. I've only ever seen them. So for Hogan going, you know, look at Benoit, look what he did. Look at what he did. And the fans still forgave him. Where are those people? Where are those people? I've never seen those people. I've never seen those. I've never seen fans that have accepted Benoit did what he did and then forgave him. I'm sure there must be a handful out there, but it ain't anything sizable to the point where you can mention it on a podcast. So, honestly, it's bonkers. Like, it's bonkers. The stuff that's come out of that thing is just bonkers. Right, Trick Williams has come out. So yeah, Cameron, I did, and it's bonkers, mate. It's just bonkers. Ethan is making his way out. So Trick Williams has come out and he said that he wants to finish this. I think he wants Pete. Here's Ethan Page. I am so sorry. Daze, apparently Giulia will be getting a massive Asuka type NXT push. Goods. She deserves it, man. She deserves it. Okay, so what are they chanting? Oh, are they trying to sing that Joe Hendry song from last week? It's not going very well. But then there's not loads of them, is there, in all fairness? Oh, it's going. Yeah, I think it's such a stupid line, the whole put on some clothes thing. I mean, Ethan's just like... Don't get too comfortable. I'm coming back for my title. So, Trick's in wrestling attire. I've got some unfinished business with Pete Dunne. So we got Ethan and Trick in the ring, starting off the show. Okay, so October 1st, we're going to the CW network. I'll be surprised if you even make it. I'm guessing it is going to be Trick against Ethan. Oh, there we go. There's the Bruiserweight. Pete Dunne is in. Pete Dunne is in, and he's in the Bruiserweight attire as well. So this is proper Bruiserweight. Pete Dunne throwing in shots against Trick Williams. Yeah, man, look at this. Pete Dunne. Oh, God, this is going to be so good. Pete Dunne was a fantastic NXT UK champion. Okay, we got Hank and Tank, everyone's favorite. We need Hustle and Flow watch along, said Russell. I've never seen that film, you know. Here's Gallus. Is this going to be our first match? Gallus against Hank and Tank and the Rascalz. Referee is in, separating them. Hello, who's this? Jada. Here's Jada. Here is Fatal Influence. I don't clout chase, says Jasmine. Jada against Jasmine. Looks like Jada Jasmine set up for later then. Yeah, it is going to be that match first, so it is going to be Rascalz. Rascalz versus Hank and Tank versus Gallus. Gallus. That'll do. William said, Benoit went psycho bananas and he whacked his family, then himself, POS, regardless of circumstance or reason. Have you seen that clip of Heyman? Someone was... I think so. I saw someone like trying to defend Benoit because I don't think he quite believed that Benoit had done it. As I said, for me, those are the two schools that people go into. They either go into they don't believe he did it, or he did it and it's just unforgivable. The he did it and I've forgiven him is just honestly not a group of people I've encountered. But there was someone that made a point to Paul Heyman, and Heyman made his feelings on it very, very clear. He gets pretty fired up about it as well. That he's got no time for Benoit after what had happened. So it's a controversial topic. It's not a topic that I worry about talking about because, you know, wrestling fans do sometimes gravitate to those darker side of things. And this has all come up because Hogan's brought it up today in an interview, which, yeah, I agree. I mean, I've not defended Hogan. I've said that I would like for us to find a way forwards. He was such a big part of my youth that, like... I feel like he's said stupid stuff, which I really hope he doesn't mean in the past. And I'd like to think we could find a way forward. But it's true, and he just keeps coming out with stupid stuff. I mean, like, we're only not that far removed from those comments he made the other week when he was drunk. And now he's gone on to Logan's podcast and made a few more questionable comments. And it's like, the guy just don't stop, man. The guy just don't stop. I mean, like, there's no media training there whatsoever, is there? There's no watching his words or being worried about how people perceived certain things that he says. I mean, all I'll say is at least he's being honest. He's going out and he's just showing him true self. You know, he's going out, he's saying what he's saying. And then you can obviously just judge him accordingly. But, oh man, it is some really dumb stuff that he's saying. So, yeah, not good. Not good. But SmackDown is going to USA Network. That's a big move for WWE. Yeah, it is. That is next week, isn't it? So, as we said, it's going to be next week that we're going to be getting WWE week, and very much looking forward to that, because it should be big. We know that we've got the Wyatt Six. We know that we've got the TNA Women's Open Challenge. I mean, I don't know if we're going to be seeing Giulia tonight. I hope we are. I hope it's not just a video package. But they might give us a video package and then advertise her for next week, you know? Because next week is a big deal. So, the season premiere of Raw. Right, we are at commercial break. We are going to be going over to our first match very soon. I used to love Hogan, said Nathan. I wonder if that was a mistake now. Well, it's very hard to do, but I would really try, if you can, and I try to do this, try to look at the character on screen as different. The character on screen that was say your prayers, eat your vitamins, I feel like that is a character in his own right. That is Hulk Hogan. I feel like the person that we see making these stupid comments, that's Terry Bollea. I feel like they're two different entities. And it is difficult, you know, with the stupid stuff he's come out with. I could totally understand people not being able to separate the two. I can't separate, you know, Benoit. If I see Benoit, I can't enjoy the matches anymore. So I struggle with that. With Hogan, I've just always hoped what he said was just stupid. I hoped that it was something which he could learn from and change from. You can't learn and change from what Benoit did. There's no learning and growing from that. So for me, that's just done. But with Hogan, I kind of hope that there could be a learning, a growing, a change. I mean, maybe it was just stupid of me to think that, but that's what I was hoping for. So I could kind of separate the two as a result, but he is making it harder and harder and harder and harder. I completely agree. And who knows? I mean, I don't know if Vince is found guilty, and obviously it does not look good, right? But if Vince is found guilty of the Janelle Grant stuff and all of that stuff, I don't know how I'll be able to go back and view Vince. I don't know. I mean, it's uncomfortable doing it now. But if he's all found guilty, and I'm sure I think we all know there's likely to be more that comes out, because Janelle Grant's lawyer said she had been inundated with other stuff. She's like, since we came forward, like, I am just being swamped with other things to do with Vince. So I don't think we've even heard half of it yet. I think there's going to be other stuff that comes out. So this is the dark side of wrestling. Okay, Rascalz, Gallus, Hank, and Tank. In the corner goes Trey Miguel. I like Trey Miguel. I wonder if Wes is going to get involved and costs Zachary. I can't imagine Wes not getting involved, to be honest. Wolfgang collides into Hank and goes for the cover, but Trey making the save. So we've got a member of each team in the ring at the same time here. Here we go. We've got Hank, boom, with Trey Miguel. It's got him looking for the cover to... No joy. Kick to the midsection there by Wolfgang. Over in the corner goes Trey. Big clubbing blow there by Wolfgang. So, Trick against Pete Dunne. We've got that match tonight. Shots to the midsection there. Gallus working together. This is Mark Coffey in there with Wolfgang. Joe Coffey on the outside. Live tonight, Roxanne Perez. Will we get Giulia in that segment? Roxanne Perez live tonight. Here's Trey again in there. Charging over, double knees to the back of Hank. Tank still on the outside to double axe handle. Bert said Tonga Loa needs the NXT and North American title. He's a great wrestler and he's good at holding title belts and wearing eye patches. That gives him plus 100 aura every second. Tonga Loa for president. Mitchell said, Daze, seriously, every NXT women's feud is just the movie Mean Girls. Johnny thinks that Vince will come through. George said Jordan Grace is going to defend the TNA Knockouts Championship next week. Nathan said, my parents used to say the same thing about celebrities. Admire the talent, not the person, but it is hard sometimes. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Kim Strange, shout out to you. Saw Hack Duggan said, will we see Brock again in WWE? Well, it depends how it all goes, doesn't it? I mean, I don't think he gets seen until this lawsuit is sorted, until the Janelle Grant situation is sorted, because he's caught up in it. And I've said before, like, it's quiet at the moment because the government's investigating it. So it's actually quiet at the moment. So this is why I think people are saying, like, oh, Brock should come back, because there's not much noise around the case. But it's all going to start up again, you know? It's not gone away. It's just nothing's happening really at the moment. Nothing public is happening. So you could bring Brock back and then it would all blow up again. And then I've no doubt he would end up having to go away again. So it's all going to come down to what happens with this case. So things they just don't look good. And I certainly don't believe that there's any truth to what Triple H said of, like, listen, you know, Brock knows where we are. When he wants to come back, we're here. I don't believe that for a second. Don't believe that for 1 second. Because we know he was going to be at WrestleMania 40 and he got removed from the show. So there was no issue with Brock, was there? Everything was fine at that point. So, and I think Dave Meltzer came out with a report saying that it's WWE legal that have got to clear him, basically. Right, we're at commercial break again. Brony said, apparently Chelsea is backstage at NXT tonight. I honestly think Chelsea should have an NXT run because they're barely using her on the main roster and she is a great talent, says Brony. Christopher said, I was never a Hogan fan. I never got the hype. Obviously, Vince did, and it worked in the old days, but he's a douchebag. I never got the hype either. The problem is, though, the era that I love is dominated by him. That's the problem. And you know what? I think that is a reason as to why people now don't give that era the respect it deserves. If that era in the 80s was dominated by John Cena, I think that era would be it would be remembered more fondly. Or, actually, better than that, if it had been dominated by Dusty Rhodes. If Dusty Rhodes had been in Hogan's position, think about how loved that era would be now. Certainly with Cody in the position Cody's in. But I think that people are just done with Hogan. They're just done. So the idea of going back and watching an era that really circles all around him. I mean, he is the sun. Everyone else kind of has to gravitate around, orbit around Hogan. Hogan is the center focal point, isn't he? I was never a Hogan fan. I mean, I wanted Piper. I was much more into Piper than I was into Hogan. I was way more into Andre than I was Hogan. I was into Macho Man more than I was into Hogan. I was into Warrior more than I was into Hogan. Really, the only people I remember thinking that I wanted Hogan to beat was... I didn't mind him beating Zeus. I didn't have really any feelings about Zeus. King Kong Bundy, I didn't mind him beating King Kong Bundy. Sergeant Slaughter, because, you know, he was a heel, but he was a bit of he was anti-America and all of that, and I was like, nah, I wanted Hogan to beat him. But there was plenty of people in that golden era I was cheering for the other person. WrestleMania 5, I'm Team Macho Man. WrestleMania 3, I'm Team Andre. WrestleMania 6, I'm Team Ultimate Warrior. WrestleMania 9, I was Team Hogan. I was Team Hogan because I liked the ending. I know people are down on it. And the reason they're down on it is because, Hogan always has to win. It's always got to be Hogan. You don't think that when you're a kid. When you're a kid and you watch WrestleMania 9, I mean, don't forget, I watched WrestleMania 9. Like, I don't think it was live, but it was like a week later. I had the videotape. And when you go into a show, like, you always think, oh, I wonder who's going to leave as champion. Is it going to be Yoko or is it going to be Brett? Who's going to leave as champion? Imagine watching that show and at the end it's Hogan that left. That wasn't even an option. It was such a swerve. It was like, wow, anything can happen in WWE, man. Anything can happen. Like it'd be like tuning into Gunther versus Randy and flipping Sami Zayn leaves as champion, you know? It'd be like, whoa. And that's how I was as a kid. I loved it. I thought it was, oh man, it blew me sideways. I was like, well, you know, Brett lost. He got cheated. I just, you know, back then I was a kid. I was following the story. I didn't worry about the politics. So to me, Brett got cheated with the salt being thrown in his eyes. And then it's like, well, you could have ended it there and that would have been a big downer. But instead, they had Hogan come out and Hogan did it and Hogan beat Yoko. And I thought it was really good. People look back on it now and they're like, oh, I hate that ending. It should have been Brett and all of this. But I don't. You're looking at it through adult eyes. You're not looking at it through kids' eyes. And I was a kid at the time and I loved it. So I wanted Hogan then in that match. So there was a few times I wanted him. But by and large, I agree. I was always rooting for the other guy. Here's Tank's in. We're back from our second commercial break. We're 24 minutes into this show already, you know. Jeez. It's flying by. Boom. Stomped there by Zachary. Tag being made. In comes Trey. Trey comes over. Shoulder tackles to midsection. Goes, oh, that was nice. Went through the ropes. I think he got a little lost momentarily there, but it was okay in the end. Oh, I love that. That was great. Great by Trey. I find Trey to be more engaging than Wesley. Boom, nice kick. Nice. Going for the cover. 1, 2. Oh, double axe handle. Yeah, Trey's got all that fast-paced action and everything. I don't know, is he just a bit cooler than Wes? Oh, big shot there by Hank. Here's Joe Coffey. Joe Coffey has jumped up on the edge of the ring. Ah, here's Javon. Javon going after Joe Coffey. Yes, this kid is bouncy. The young OG. Go on, Javon. Go on, Javon. Right now, we got the Rascalz going up. Tank is down. Is it going to be the Rascalz? Ball, double knees. Swanton. I think they're going to do it, you know. 2, 3, and they have. It's the Rascalz that have won. So, no Wesley. Perhaps he's going to cost them during the title match. Perhaps it'll be during the title match. God, it's we're just giving TNA all the wins, aren't we, eh? Daze, do you think Goldust should have been a champion back in 95, 2000s? No. I don't think he was ever... I think if he was going to get there, it would have had to have been when he first arrived, and he was so shocking. But then they really... do you know the TV company got really nervous about the character, and he had to make changes to it, and he ended up getting, like, kind of watered down. So I sort of feel like if he was going to do it, you would have to do it... You'd have to have gone all in with him, and you would have to have kept him quite shocking and quite out there. I mean, really, there's... I wouldn't even have said it was that long. I'd have said it was like 95, 97, something like that. I reckon you've got a very short window. So you would have had to have got him to the title really quick. And then knowing that they water him down because the network makes you water him down and that kills the character. There was no future in that character. There was no future in it. He stuck around. I mean, he came and went, obviously, but Mid-card, weren't he? Just mid-cards. Comedy thing by the end, so... Yeah, what that character was meant to be to what it became was a real shame. So, I'm going to go no. Here's Lexis King. Do you think WWE booked the match between Cody and Solo at Bad Blood? Well, I would think so. I mean, we're going to get more answers on Friday. But Solo did say that he was going to be next. So I'm guessing so. Here's Lexis King. Lexis King. William said Odyssey has not been officially fired, just taken off the active roster. Yeah, well, Brian Alvarez has come out and said he's heard he's gone. But I mean, I've not seen anything other than that at the moment. Right, Lexis King making his way down. We've gone to another commercial break. Let's have a little look over here, shall we? Let's go boom, boom. Boom. What's this? The Real Wrestling Ops has contacted the parody account, and that's come from Wrestling Ops on Roblox. So is that another fake Wrestle Ops account? So has a fake Wrestle Ops account. The Real Wrestle Ops has contacted the parody account Wrestle Ops on Roblox. Hi there, can you change your layout and remove anything to do with our presence? Don't care what you're trying to do. If not, we'll have to resort to reporting the page, just like all the other ones that have tried this stupid, pointless game. Do you know, I don't blame them. I think it's really frustrating as well. I don't blame them. I mean, I would say if you're called Wrestle Ops on Roblox, I can sort of tell that that's not real. But there is one account out there that is Wrestle. I think the L and the E are the other way round. And so many people are getting like caught out with it. All day, I'm just getting people tag me in a block. I've blocked them, so and I really suggest you do the same. If it's one of those fake accounts, block them, because as soon as someone tags me, like, oh my god, have you seen this? They tag me in it. It just says this account is blocked, and I know straight away that it's one of those accounts because I don't block people. I don't tend to block people. So for me, if I've got an account that's blocked straight away, I know it must be a load of nonsense. And that's what I've done. So that's how I can tell that whatever I've been tagged in is not worth my time. And I just respond, that's a fake account, buds. That's fake, blah, blah, blah. I know straight away without even reading it, without even seeing it, because it's blocked. And I'd recommend you do the same. Yeah, I'm not down on Wrestle Up sending this, to be honest. Maybe if that's what they're called, this is not the most pressing concern. But I don't know, maybe they changed their name? I don't know, you can't really change your handle, can you? Can you? There's another one out there, I think the L and the E is the other way around. That's the bigger problem. So, interesting. If it's on Roblox, then it's definitely fake, said Kian. Yes. I will tell you right now, I do not get any of my wrestling news from Roblox. Any of the wrestling rumors or reports or anything that we talk about, I don't get it from Roblox. So if that's where you're getting your news from, you might wanna think again. Mark said it's a good thing that no one could even pretend to be another Daze, says Mark. Oh god, could you imagine? Could you imagine if we had another one running around? What's this? One of the best. During Bash in Berlin, she emerged as a ring general, an outstanding talent. Yeah, I don't really get that, to be honest. Bianca Belair getting a little bit of praise. Okay, here's Pete again. Pete, unload him. Oh my God, I've got a little thing here with Giulia. Giulia signed a long-term deal with WWE, and her tenure in NXT will be relative to how fast she takes to the American TV style. So we got Pete Dunne and Trick Williams. They're brawling backstage. Giulia is expected to be presented as a top star as they make their way onto the CW network. So it looks like Giulia will be in NXT for as long as it takes her to get used to working the American style. Makes sense. Okay, Oro Mensah making his way down. He's going to be taking on Lexis King. Oh, Lexis King versus Lexis King? I don't think so. Oro Mensah. This was last week when they kind of ran into each other. So many flipping commercials. We're talking about other stuff because every time I look at the screen, we're at a commercial. Right now, we're just looking at how this match came about last week. 50 to 33, 7 and 5. So that was good 95. Jamie said, I'm not Daze, but yeah, I know that R-Truth was hot at that time. I don't know. He was very comedish, and I felt like that was a build for little Jimmy. It could have gone better for R-Truth, says Jamie. I like that. Honestly, I think if people are asking questions, I mean, I am not the oracle of wrestling. I mean, far from it. So, I mean, if people are asking questions, you should always feel like you can share your opinions as well. That's what it's all about. We're just having a wrestling chat, aren't we? Upcut there by Oro. Do you think R-Truth should have won on his heel turn in 2011? His heel character is funny and also a former NWA world champion. He was serious at one point. He got into a main event with like Cena, and there was a moment where you could have pulled the trigger, but I think one of the problems that he had at that time was that it was Cena, it was Super Cena. I mean, that is full-time Cena. That is, Cena in full flow. So I just don't think there was I just don't think it was gonna happen. I don't think it was gonna happen. I think now we're in a different kind of. I think there was definitely scope for it, but he does become a comedy character quite quickly. And to be honest, who knows? Maybe that resulted in him sticking around as long as what he has. You can sort of look at it a few ways. I know that R-Truth wishes he had got a bit more out of his career. But if you look at how much people love R-Truth, and you look at how long he's been around for, and you look at how much joy he's brought people, and I think he's a certified Hall of Famer, right? Certified. I mean, just look at his longevity. I mean, we saw, didn't we? There was that stat doing the rounds. He's been in the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era, the PG Era, and the current era. He's the only active superstar to be in all of those eras. So, I mean, longevity alone, the amount of TV time that he has contributed, you know, the live events that he has been to, and all those entrances people have sung along to, and I don't know, people always say, well, you've got to do more than that to go in the Hall of Fame, but the bar is low, man. That, to me, is enough to get you into this Hall of Fame. If the Hall of Fame was a lot more strict and we only put in, like, a couple of people every year, then maybe not, but this Hall of Fame, the current Hall of Fame, yeah, in my opinion, he makes it, so. It's hard to be down on a Hall of Fame career, innit? It's hard to be down on like the amount of money he's made and joy that he's brought. So, yeah, I don't think he should have had that title. No, I think again there was a very short window, and actually the direction he went has worked out very well for him. Lexis with a kick to the back there of Oro, and then he jumps on and he throws down a couple of big right hands. So Lexis is all over Oro Mensah. Oro Mensah struggling a little bit here. Crowd not massively into this. You can sort of see them sat there, not really invested. Part of the problem here is this is a bit heel versus heel. Like, you know, Metaphor are heels. Lexis King is a heel. There's not really anyone to really be rooting for. If Oro Mensah loses, I don't think anyone's going to care. If Lexis loses, I don't think anyone's going to care. So it's just a bit weird, really. So, right now he's picking up Oro. Big right hand. Do you think he should have put the belt on John Laurinaitis? Sarcastic question, says Kim Strains. Do you think we see Jimmy this right? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they would probably save that for the move. Oro Mensah throwing down some big shots. He's trying to get away from the ref and he throws in a kick to the corner. Big club. Is he going to DQ him? He's not listening to the ref. The ref could have DQ'd him, but instead he tries to force Oro back. Oro's going back over. He gets taken down. Double leg takedown. Oh, Lexis using the ropes. He uses the ropes. Lexis gets the victory. But there was shenanigans. He goes chasing after Lexis as they head to the back. Here's the family. Here's the Riz. Here's Obafemi. You got lucky, says the Riz. You're going to lose that title real soon. In many cultures, the woman is meant to be seen and not heard. She didn't like that. In my culture, if you talk to a woman like that, you get smacked in the mouth, says Tony. Oh, Stacks can't be pleased about that. Tony's like, Stacks is going to deal with you tonight. If I was Stacks, I'd be like, what? Come on, man. Thought we were friends. Right, here's Tatum Paxley. So this is going to be the Rosemary match. They need to stop the obvious name changes. Lexis King, Bron Breakker. It's all marketing so they can go and get over anywhere else with their real name. Steinman and Pillman are much better, said Jay. Okay, here's Tatum. Tatum versus Rosemary. Daze, it turns out he's not a feminist. Ah, very good. No, he's an Ober feminist. The Ober means opposite. He's the opposite to a feminist. Starting next Monday. Let's go. Three must-see shows. They are must-see. Don't you dare miss them. But one place that we don't get in this country. Yeah, they have kind of announced that they're going to have reduced commercials, haven't they? I like how they've done weak with the WWE logo being the W. That's good. Clever. Lisa said, did you see that Tegan feeling frustrated with her booking and not being at the speed tournament? Yes. I don't know that it was not being in the speed tournament that was the problem. I think she was more making the point, I can't even get onto the tattoo show they do on the YouTube channel. I ain't getting into no speed tournament. I think she's just frustrated in general that she's not getting booked for anything. Which I can understand, to be honest. I can understand. I feel, though, that she's never really had that run in my mind. She's never had that run because down in NXT, she twice had big injuries and she was out, you know, for a long time. And so it meant that she was stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. I remember probably her best moment was that bit when Dakota turned on her at the War Games. And then it led to a feud between her and Dakota. That's probably the best run I've seen for Tegan. And then, you know, she came back and she was on the main roster. And I was quite surprised that they put her on the main roster. But Triple H, I think, had a soft spot for her. But I don't know. I don't think the fans had made any connection with her. And now we just ain't done nothing with her. So, I mean, I just know. I don't know what the plan is, man. I don't know what the plan is. It's really difficult, though, because she's getting paid. And she's in America. And she's young. I feel like she's living a great life. I mean, I'm sure she wants more and she should want more, but it's a hard situation, isn't it? Like, they say gamble on yourself, you know? Gamble on yourself. That's what Cody did. He left, went off and became a bigger star, and then came back, but there's no guarantee that's going to work. There's plenty of people that have been let go by WWE. They don't then go off and become bigger stars and come back, you know? No guarantee that if you like leave WWE, you're going to find a way back. So, I don't know, man. What do you do if you're Tegan? I mean, I think what you do is you try and make it work the best you can. You know, you keep yourself on the... You train hard. You come up with ideas. You try and get time with Triple H. Like, you try and make it work, of course. It's going to be easier to try and make it work being in WWE than being out of WWE. But if you do leave, then the only thing you can do is say to Triple H, like, watch me. Keep an eye on me. I'm going to set this industry on fire. And you just go to Stardom. And you just go to AEW, TNA... Rev Pro, Progress, just CMLL, just get out there. Marigold, just try and set the world on fire and see if then you catch WWE's interest and maybe come back as a bigger star. But it's a gamble, innit? Don't know what she does. I'd imagine she doesn't know what she does. Hence the frustration. So, yeah. Okay, here is No Quarter Catch Crew. I don't know. Gallus are frustrated. Yeah, they're blaming Javon. I'm going to end him, says Joe. I like Joe Coffey, you know. Do it tonight, Joe. Charles wants you to keep your voices down. Why would you want to fight Javon again? He's really good. After Javon, we're coming for that cup. Ren stepping up. Calm down, Ren. Okay, so he's trying to give some advice to Ren. Okay, there's Roxanne. Roxanne? Amin said, I'm not going to miss the Raw season premiere next week. No, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Daze, do we think Grayson Waller has got a future? I don't see a direction, said Saw Hack Duggan. I think there's a future there, definitely. I like him. I think he's a really good talker. I think that he's just a bit shackled at the moment in this, but then so's Theory. I don't think this tag team's been good, but it will be a vehicle for them to do the feud, and that feud might be good. So you've kind of got to do, you know, what we're doing to get to that feud. Here's Rosemary. She's coming down with Wendy Chu. Rosemary in the ring with a doll. This is the doll friendship bracelet era, innit? Wendy Chu with a smile on her face. Tatum Paxley. Oh god, it's just a load of weird women here. And we just got a glance over at Tatum and she's like, meh. It's like the flipping witching hour. Right, we are underway with this match. Tatum, Rosemary. Wicked man. Wicked man. So, Lexis versus Oro was 69% good, 15% great, 4% all time. So 90% good. 90% goods. So Rosemary and Tatum. I would not see Gallus being big in WWE. They're boring, said Lisa. Nice. Cartwheel. Over in that middle rope. Ah! So she's on the outside. She's got the head. She's upside down. Rosemary. Smile on her face. What are we doing here? She was just twirling her hands in the hair of Wendy Chu. Forearm strike there by Tatum. Headbutt there by Rosemary. Tatum goes down to one knee. Crowd are quiet again, aren't they? Boom. Suplex. Oh. Big clothesline one. That's a good point, actually, by Booker. We never spoke about that. Booker just said, like, Kalani showed me a lot, and she dealt with the altitude really well. And that's true, isn't it? Forget that Denver's at altitude. It's going to sap your cardio straight away. Like, if you've got any energy or anything, it gets drained really quickly at altitude. It's a real problem when it comes to UFC. Big boot there by Rosemary. Oh, drop kick by Tatum. Tatum trying to get back into this. Can you do your best Tony D'Angelo impression? Considering we are a gang, you might need to work on your mafia voice. Well, you don't, because the mean streets of Stourbridge, obviously we don't all walk around doing Italian accents. It's actually the Italians that do Stourbridge accents, because that is how influential we are. Nice elbow drop there by Tatum. Shoulder up. Daniel said Rosemary has got decay on her gear. I don't know what that means. Crossbody. She's got the word doll on her gear, hasn't she? Fall away slam. Tatum back up. Looking for an exploder. Rosemary sits up. Goes for the pin. 1, 2. She then has a word with the ref. She grabs the hair of Tatum. No, miss. Boom, onto a knee. Looking, she's got the leg, she's got the arm. Boom, plants. Rosemary, and it's Tatum that gets the win. So Tatum wins. Match score. Well, I mean, I don't know what Rosemary is like in TNA, but that is 2 losses for her. So, well, Tatum's got the win. Here's Wendy. She pushes Tatum down. Now she's going to look to try and choke Tatum out. Oh. Spear there by Rosemary, and Tatum goes down. And now they're mugging Tatum. Who's going to make the save? Whoa! No way, man! Let's go! Lyra Valkyria makes the save of Tatum Paxley. Wasn't she like feuding with Tatum Paxley when she left? I was at a house show of NXT back in like April, and they were feuding. They were fighting, and it weren't long after that Lyra got called up. Welcome back is the chant. She comes over. She helps Tatum back up to her feet, and they hug. Are we bringing closure to this story? It's bonkers, but I love it. There we go. Tatum jumps into the arms of Lyra Valkyria. Oh, doesn't it warm the heart? Oh, lovely. Oh, lovely. All right, here we go. We've got Trick and Pete, and they're brawling. Pete just said this isn't a music video. There's Ava, Stevie, Robert Stone. They're brought. What is this, like the makeup? I don't even know what area this is. Must be like makeup and hair and stuff like that. Get to the ring now. My God. There's Ethan. Right, boom. Dominic, the writer, you are the Mount Rushmore. I wish it was a music video. Okay, get your votes in. We need the votes for the Rosemary Tatum Paxley match. Looks like we're going to be going over to Trick against Pete Dunne, which I'm guessing is going to take us from hour 1 into hour 2. In the second hour, we got Roxanne Perez. Let's go, man. Let's go. Hopefully that's going to be a juicy segment. I'm surprised Stone is still employed by WWE, said Leo. Kim Strain said, is Rob E, a.k.a. Robert Stone, a parody of Tony Khan? Don't know. Maybe some people have took it that way. Lyra is going to make friendship break. Oh my God, Jesus. Well, then she's out. She's out. Big Time said, the booking of Lyra has been so frustrating on the main roster. Triple H has soured on her. Do you think so? I just don't think she fitted into the plans. Right. Daze, I've been called up to the main roster. Who's in your Gangan faction? Everyone? Everyone's in my Gangan faction? Everyone here. Tatum is a stupid name, but her character has grown on me. Days 4 this week, she was off TV 4 weeks. Her last 3 matches on Raw, she was losing to the likes of Sonya and her faction. After King of the Ring performance, things started going south. Well, I don't agree. I think what you see as him going sour on her is the end of a story arc for her. So I think the plan for her was to bring her in, give her a hot start, get her into the final of Queen of the Ring, all of that kind of stuff. So good story arc. And that came to a natural conclusion, like that had run its course. And so they had other stories they needed to focus on. So they put her with Kaden and Katana so that she had a few bits to do. But we might be on the verge of a new story arc starting for Lyra. So I would disagree that it's to do with sourness and stuff like that. I think it's more to do with just general creative and booking and who you want to focus on. Truth is, you got 2 shows. You've got only so many championships. You've got so many people on the roster. You can't feature everyone all the time. There's only going to be a few superstars, and she is not in that list, that you really have to prioritize. Your Codys, your Romans, your Rheas, you know, those superstars. She's not in that list. So I think, you know, you give her a run, you give her a story. Once that comes to the end, you then have to just wait until it's your time for your next story arc. So I think she's fine. I think she'll be fine, honestly. I don't know when her next story is going to start, but I would expect another one to come up and then off we go. Alkaline said, someone needs to hear this. If you've been on OnlyFans for 4 months and only made $25, put your clothes back on. That's me. Here's Jordan Grace. She's got her... she's got her announcement. Here's that chick. Right, not even much of an intro. It's just straight into this. Right, we're going to have to end this poll. These polls don't stay up for long, kids. Trick hurling Pete Dunne into the barricades. Mikey said, whoop that Trick. 62, 18, 10, 8. That is good 92%. All these matches, man, coming out as good. We've had 3 matches and all of them are good in the kind of low 90s. Let's see what this one can do. Trick versus Pete Dunne. This could be a great match. I mean, both of these are top stars in my eyes. Trick in the middle of the ring, but Pete trying to grab a hold of the arm. He's managed to get the arm behind Trick's back. Down goes Trick. Ethan watching backstage. Stomping double knees onto the arm of Trick. And Pete is working the ear, grabbing on the nose, pulling at the mouth. Elbow coming in there by Pete. Trick is down. And again, we've got Pete working on the arms. Pete Dunne is in control at the moment. He stomps down on the arm. And Trick is selling that. Still to come, we've got Roxanne Perez. There's a dude in the front row that's wearing a crown. You've got to respect that. Pete Dunne goes into the corner, looking for a net breaker. 1, 2. Shoulder up. They do need to introduce women's mid-card belts on the main roster, said Brony, as soon as possible, because the women that aren't in the main event, they struggle for TV time. I agree. I think the only thing is it'll be hard to find the TV time for the mid-card belts, won't it? I mean, maybe you do have to introduce a third hour into SmackDown to try and just free up a bit of room. Maybe there's a way you can squeeze, but I mean, like, trying to squeeze 2 more belts in that have to be featured, it's going to be really hard, isn't it? Right now, we've got Pete pulling on the hair, hammer fist into the head. Trick is really struggling here. I feel like Trick has gone to the selling really quickly. Really quickly. This is a big, strong guy, and I feel like he's only been out there a few minutes. He is starting to get back, though. He's on his knees, getting back up to his feet. Big chops coming in there by Pete. Big chop there by Trick. Pete goes back to the corner, throwing in these blows. Oh, God, it's just absolutely wailing on him. Big boot there by Pete. Trick goes down to one knee. Pete goes against the ropes. Picks. Boom! You see that then? Mates. Big shot there by Trick. Pete Dunne is, God only knows how many Trick Williams is seeing. Crowd are starting to chant, "Work that Trick." On the edge of the ring, he's got Pete. Pete, though, putting it... That's clever. That's good by Pete. Putting his leg through that bottom rope so that Trick can't do anything. Big shot coming back. He goes down. He gets caught in the apron. So, Trick a little bit caught in the apron. Pete on the edge. Big boots to the side of the head. And Trick definitely feeling that. Draws a reaction from the crowds. Trick is slumped over, and Pete is dragging him over. Oh, he's got his head right on the ring steps. I thought Trick was going to move, man. I really thought he was going to move. He puts his head on the ring steps, and then he stomped on his head. I really thought Trick was going to be, like, getting out of the way. Didn't. He just literally stomped on his head. Oh, that's moody. That was moody. Right, commercial break. Daze, I think Pete should join forces with Gallus, says Paul. Mitchell said, you've mentioned for the members about more emojis. Can we get a bracelet emoji? There's no need, Mitchell. The bracelet's dead, didn't you hear? Do you know, Mitchell, that would have been a great suggestion for when the bracelet was around. But unfortunately, the bracelet's dead now. It's gone. So there's not really a need for it anymore. Because it's done, it's dead, it's over. We've got the memories, though, haven't we, mate? We've got the memories we'll never forget. Such a shame as well, because I love that bracelet. So, but yeah, as we said, you know, we've got the memories. We can always go back and rewatch like the footage of it and everything. So, I think a triple threat match for the Halloween Havoc NXT title, says Daniel. Daze, off topic. Will we ever get Connor Chandler fight? Said WrestleLand. No, man. Connor wants it. Connor wants it. He seems up for it. But I don't know if we're ever actually going to get it. You never quite know what the flipping... What gets said in public, is it the same as what gets said in the... behind the scenes, you know? Never quite know if you're getting the same story. But I hope the Wyatt 6 debuts a member bracelet and Daze has to report on it, said Aubrey. They would never do that to me. You know that they love this community. They would never do that to us. How is your day? Said Bits GT. My day is good, thank you. Hope you are well. I hope you've had a good day. I can see that Riley's had a good day. Happy birthday to Riley. That gives me Pizza's done more screen time. Pizza. Imagine if that was his name and he had that same gimmick as that chef. You remember that chef? That was pretty wild for a hot minute, wasn't it? Charles said, man, until we see McGregor walk to the ring, there's no point in bringing his name. That's true. That's true. Baby Batter. Hello, my friend. Happy Tuesday. I got to tell you, Baby Batter, you was the talk of the town last night. Everyone in the community was talking about Baby Batter, so lovely to see you around. Daniel said, I am right behind you. You always say that, Daniel, and you know what? You never are. I always have a little glance behind and you're never there, so I feel like I get my hopes up and then they get dashed. Matt said, Dom's eye, Kyrie's eye, Tonga Loa is in the corner with his eye patch like, see? Then he turns and knocks everything off the table in catering. Kim Shanes said, nothing, because the message was retracted. So we will never know what Kim's Trains had to say. And I will now never read any more Kim's Trains comments. That's it. It is over. Party is over. But thankfully, NXT is back. And here's Trick with a big clothesline. Down went Pete Dunne. Peter. Drew said Punk wants gold, so give him 50 cents instead. Against the ropes. Oh! Flapjack. Flapjack. Pete Dunne down. We're already 10 minutes into the second hour, you know. This show's going pretty quick. This is, you know, it's not been the best in-ring stuff. I don't know if you're new to NXT that this is going to be tickling your scrotum. But, you know. Oh, got caught. Oh, wow. What a urinagi. Whoa, boom. Massive urinagi. Look at that, dude. Standing. He's got his crowd clapping along. Trick trying to pick up Pete. Pete behind Trick. Suplex. Big-headed butch, says that woman. Kick coming in there by Pete. Those women that are standing with those signs, they're very dedicated, aren't they? Like, they're just standing there like this. They're not really doing, they're not cheering. They're not chanting. They're literally just standing there with the signs. They sort of look a bit like they've been planted as a result. That's a nice aerial shot. I don't mind. I don't hate that aerial shot. Here we go. Peter's got Trick and boom! Powerbomb! Powerbomb. Do you remember when the Performance Center first changed to this and they actually had people a lot closer and it was a lot more narrow around the ringside area? That sucked. This is so much better. Oh, he's going for the bitter end. Oof. He loves those flapjacks, doesn't he? Oh, and he copies Pete. I like how before he did it, he went and did the shrug as well. Nice by Trick. Goes for a big kick. Pete goes to the outsides. Corey said, where is William? Oh, he'll be off somewhere. Causing trouble. Big boot. Face first into, oh my God, we're right by the commentators. Pete is on this, like, weird barricade thing. There's like a barricade in front of the crowds. The crowd have got two barricades, actually. There's like a glass barricade and then like a proper barricade. Oh! Is he going to urinagi him? Go on, mate! Go on, Trick! Is he going to urinate? Oh, go on! No! Oh! He stopped him from doing it. I thought he was going to urinagi. Oh! They both go through the commentary table. Oh, double count out. Well, that's going to solve nothing. They both put each other through the commentary table. Double count out. Well, what does that achieve? Nothing. So we just all wasted our time. You suck. Ref, you suck. Ref, you suck. Yeah, look, the ref's like me. I'm only following the rules. Ref, you suck. Ref, you suck. Here we go, Trick. Throwing in some shit. I do like that from the ref. You're really having a pop at me right now. How about we just do what AEW do and don't worry about counts then? Huh? How would you feel then? Sorry, ref. Sorry, ref. You did a good job. We're just frustrated. We wanted a winner. Well, look, now we've got all these officials. They're trying to separate the fighters. Ah, oh, this thing's just broken down into a right mess. Headbutts coming in there by Pete. Let them fight. Let them fight. Oh, that was pretty fun, wasn't it? That was a pretty fun ending. Oh, here we go. Yeah. I've forgotten about Ridge. I want to destroy Mr. Chase. Mr. Chase. Put him in the hospital. There failed. We were champions. Win the big one, but can't keep it. I love his voice. Look at everything I did for Chase U. New classroom. You think Duke Hudson would have done what I did? Duke Hudson is a smug, arrogant. That'll be good, actually. Him against Duke. That'll be good. They failed. I finally became a champion and it got ripped away because of mediocrity. Chase, you needed Ridge, said Spartan. Thea, I'm gonna love every second. Oh, he drops the MVP trophy. And he stomps on it. Oh, we know how much he loved that MVP trophy, Duke Hudson. Javon Evans, Joe Coffey. That match coming up. Next. Yeah. Do you know what I know about that boy? He's really good. He's really good. Starting next Monday. I took your advice from yesterday and she ran the other way. Well, she wasn't for you then, was she, Daniel? If you took any of my advice that I give out and it resulted in the girl running away, then you're welcome, because she's not good enough for you. So that was actually a test to work out as to whether she's a good egg or a bad egg, and it turns out you was with a bad egg. You're welcome, mate. You're welcome. Trick versus Dunne. Last man standing. Bucket, you cowards, says James. I love that comment. I agree. Bucket, you cowards. I think they'll go there, won't they? That feud's definitely not done. Match is okay, but the ending was better, says Baby Batter. Have they shown Giulia yet? Said Russell. No, not tonight. Ibrahima said, do we think Giulia will win the NXT title off Roxanne Perez? Maybe not at first, but ultimately I think yes. Daniel said, make Roxanne win versus Giulia. Yeah, I could see Roxanne finding a way of getting through that first one. Might be a little bit controversial. I think Giulia will get it eventually. Matt has said Daisy's advice turned a lesbian. Yeah, that's how you know that she's a bad egg. Bring back the dog food match, says Baby Batter. AB Jobson said Ridge destroying Chase U. Let him. Smelly Vagina said, Daze, can you pull a Tommy and end the stream early? Well, I am hoping to reach Tommy's level of professionalism, but I'm not quite there yet. So, unfortunately, I'm just going to have to do what we normally do, and that is make it through to the end. But I do look forward to the future when I can be more like Tommy and we can just end the stream whenever I feel like it. That is definitely what we're working towards. So, no, not yet. Unfortunately, that kind of professionalism you will only find on the Tommy Toy Travels streams. Brony said, I think Shinsuke versus Seth Mitchell. Who's Seth Mitchell? But I could be wrong, said Brony. Big Time said SmackDown dip in quality is finally reflecting in the ratings. Last 2 weeks have been 2.05 and 2.05. No competition either, and the Nia Meechin match did 1.7. Everyone, please take a swift shower. What's that? Is that like when Taylor Swift does a wee? Is that what you meant, K-pop lover? I hope there's no kids watching. Jadam said, sorry, I wasn't here yesterday. Well, you're going to be timed out for that. Put user in timeout. 5 minutes or 10 minutes? 30 minutes. Boom. Right, Daze, I asked, when was the last man standing? Oh, I don't remember. Last week. Here's Brooks Jensen. He is backstage, and here is Sean Spears. Oh, hello. He's got his arm in a cast. He's got his arm in a cast. I just want to say something to you. Thank you. Sean, thanks, Brooks. All this time, I thought I was saving you, but it turns out you were saving me. Oh my God, are these two in love? Are these two in love? I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. When they're over, everything is over. I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. When... This is so beautiful. This is like WWE's Brokeback Mountain. Ah. Who's this boomer? I've seen him a few times. Dion, someone. Dion Dublin. He's just gaslighting you. Look at him just standing weirdly in the background. Sean Spear. Camera cut away and he was just sort of stood there in the background like a weird stalker. Right, here's Joe Coffey. Let's go. Come on, Joe Coffey. Boom. There's Oba, the feminist, is going to answer Jordan's open challenge. Yes. Yes. Okay, that got 46% good, 40% great, 7 all-time, 3 bad. That gives it good 97% for Trick Pete Dunne, which puts it as the, well, Unsurprisingly, the highest rated match. But still not into the great range. What about the bouncy boy? Our wires could be a little bit screwed up, Vic Joseph says, after what happened to our table. G. Von. Booker said, I like this kid, but he needs to learn to pick his poison. Javon goes over, lands on his feet. Duck underneath there by Javon. No, ooh, nice, okay. Blake Howard is a reporter. Have we seen Blake Howard? Where's Blake Howard? It says Blake Howard is a reporter. Have we seen him? Against the ropes, Javon. Suicide dive. Whoa, mate. He's like a bullet out of a gun, isn't he? My candy dish can't take much more. Oh, my God. I think that's his anus. His candy dish. I don't know what that means. He says, my candy dish can't take much more. Joe Coffey, and boom! Comes crashing down on Javon too. Oh. Javon went big with that suicide dive. But it sort of backfired a little. Joe Coffey is in control right now. Boom. Tony Khan sold TF out of Ricochet's debut, says AB. Hello, AB. Javon almost pulled a Kyrie, said Dominic the writer. Kim Strains is back. Hello, Austin 316. Hello. Here's Javon. This boy is bouncy. Ah, he just spilled to the outside. He spilled to the outside and he smashed his face off the edge of the ring. Now he's being brutally attacked by Gallus. Oh! Cedric Alexander to the save. Oh my God, they'd be like father and son, wouldn't they? It'd be such a lovely partnership. Javon! Oh! That was a great camera angle. Javon! We were like down here and then just looked up and he was like... You know, like a cat when it flies through the air. It was like that. Oh, boom, mate. Oh, mate. 1, 2, 3. Javon gets the win in a very short match. But he still shows up and shows out. Javon Evans. Let's get the scores. We need to get to the Roxanne bit, don't we? Oh my God, are we going to see Giulia tonight? Are we going to see Giulia tonight? The Young OG. That's such a good nickname, isn't it? The Young OG. It's such a good name. Teachers was right about Cedric, said Mr. Quake. Hulk Hogan is the greatest, said damn. Damn. Oh, Lyra's backstage. No one's got you back on Raw like I do. The issue was you didn't let me have any other friends. Never mind. We didn't leave things on the best terms. Did she miss her? I just couldn't keep my eye off you? What the hell? Chin up. You've got backup now? I'd rather be fighting with you than against you. Hug. Oh, okay, hug. Okay, yeah. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I am going to need a cold shower after where I thought that was going. But, lovely. Very good. Well done, everyone. Well done. I really don't like how they call up talent and then a few months they put them back down. Don't draft them if you're going to do that. I just think it's like what we said, though. She's finished her one story arc. Her next story arc, you know, what do? Do you just sort of kick around with her for a bit? Or why not put her down in NXT? I mean, certainly with the move to CW Network not too far away, you know, I don't mind it. Daze thought they were going to make out. That is exactly what I thought. That is exactly what I thought. Before we do that, can we just... I thought the Attitude Era was back, guys. I thought the Attitude Era was back. I was hoping that it was going to go there. Oh, I bet you was. Erase your mind. Oh, you perv. You perv. I knew it was a hug. Ashma said, does that mean that Lyra is getting Tatum for Raw season premiere? I don't know, but... Well, no, because the Raw... Oh, hang on, that's next week, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Where did you think that was going, says Nick. Well, where it went, Nick? Hug. I thought it was going to a hug. Mr. Quake said the Attitude Era is overrated. Paxley going to Raw, said Arctic. I don't know, it's interesting. Big Time said Raw has been largely enjoyable the last 4 months, but man, I feel like there's a lot of sameness to the show. I can't tell one episode from the last 4 weeks. Perhaps there's just too many feuds that have dragged. Have you noticed it? I have noticed it. Yeah, I don't think that's unfair. There's quite a few people that are like, oh, this American-made feud, it's just gone on a little bit too long, or you know, what are we doing with Rhea and Damien? I mean, like Damien and Finn, we haven't even started that, but yeah, you know, like Liv and Rhea have been at each other really since Liv came back, so yeah, I can sort of understand that. I just think some stories are starting, some stories are ending, some stories are continuing. I mean, the Odyssey Jones story looks like it's done, and they teased like Miz now. I don't know if you saw, but Carrion went up to Miz on Raw Talk, and he was like saying, "You're gonna need some backup for when Bronson Reed comes back." So it looks like something started there. So you've got little things that are starting, and you've got things that are ending, and you've got things that are continuing, but there is a lot continuing. But unfortunately, I just think it's part of where we are, because I think a lot of us looked at Bad Blood and went, right, that's going to be Liv versus Rhea, it's going to be Damien versus Finn, like, do you know what I mean? It's going to be CM Punk versus Drew. Unfortunately, I think we've just been through a show that was a bit of a stopgap. It was a bit of a placeholder. Hopefully after Bad Blood, then we start some new feuds, because that really Bad Blood should be the blow off, I think, for quite a few feuds. So just gotta get through September. We've got to get through this. But it's not a chore, is it? Still still worth watching. Raw. Bit of the old Wyatt 6. Bit of yeeting, do you know what I mean? Bit of the old yeeting. Lyra on Raw said she knew someone who could help her with Sonya and Shayna. It makes sense. Oh, Tatum. Sean, I like that. That didn't even... my mind is so set that was going to be Natalia. My brain didn't even click with that. Sean, you need to tweet that out, and you need to tag me in it so that I can put that into unseen. Do it, Sean. Do it, Sean. Do it. Pop it down in a tweet, tag me in it, and then I can put it in unseen. That's good, that is. Yeah, in my mind, that's Natalia. We're in Calgary, that's Natalia. But yeah, perhaps she did mean Tatum. Here's Ava, Sarah Schreiber. There needs to be a winner. Next week. Last man standing. Oh, the winner is going to be #1 contender. Last man standing. Well, that's big, isn't it, for next week? Oh, it's got a shucky ducky as well. Shucky ducky quack quack. Is Stacks. Stacks is going to be taking on Oba. There's the Riz. So we're really, I think there's a good chance we're getting Giulia here, isn't there? Good chance that we're getting Giulia. Because it looks like Roxanne's being left right for the very end. Shucky ducky quack quack. Lyra would have gone for her old tag partner, said Ashma. Stack's about to get murdered. Sean said, if people watch TNA, Tatum had a really good match on the show. They are high on her. Stacks. Let's go. Let's go. Tyler, shout out to you, my friend. Tyler, why didn't you put a message? What's Tyler said? What's Tyler thinking? We just don't know. Stacks versus Oba. Is Tyler enjoying the show, do we think? What do we think? What do we think Tyler would have said? What would Tyler have said? Kim Shane said, who the F is Stacks? Mitchell said, give us a message, bud. Give us a what's the message? What's the message? Meat, said Mikey. He would have called you a boomer. Oh. I would have, well, that would... Days, I called it. Last man standing, said James with a little smug face at the end. Big Time said a lot of criticism over the booking of New Judgment Day being made to look weak. Oh, where? On X? If you're telling me it's on X, my response will be there will be a lot of criticism of everything on X. Tyler said, Days, I've tagged you in something that you can put in unseen. Tyler, thank you. Well, we can fling over to it here. Ruin a wrestler by removing one letter from his name. That would struggle to get into unseen, to be honest, because it's like a game, isn't it? So I suppose you could have like the answers in the comments. I suppose you could do that. I suppose you could. Could you do that? Put it at the very end and go, right, guys, here's today's comment quiz. Comment response question. Put down in the comments your answers to this one. Ruin arrest. Actually, yeah, we might do that. We don't normally do that, but I'd be willing to give that a go. Chuck it in the fun folder. It's not something we've done before. Who knows? People might enjoy it. Guys, don't do it now. Don't forget it. We won't do it now. I will put it in unseen, and we'll play a game of that. I'll put it in now. There we go. Forget you saw that. Don't play the game now. Don't play the game now. Forget it. I'm an Oba feminist, says AB. No No, heel turn for Woods, says Carlos. No, it seems like he was telling the truth all along. Okay, Obafemi is in the ring and he is dominating Stacks. Daze thought they were going to dance, said Spartan. What, earlier? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought they were going to dance all right. And Nicole said, Daze, I feel like Bad Blood is going to be treated as an A show. You could be right, yeah. You could be right. Because it's the only non-Big Four pay-per-view in the US this year. And there's so many rivalries. I don't see it being only one match. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Daze, you an Ober-feminist? I do like Ober-femi. He's big, he's strong, he's powerful. He's got that, oh, here we go kind of, you know, oh, you don't want to mess with him. He's got that vibe. He's not the most charismatic of people, is he, though? But he's not meant to be, really. He's meant to be the monster. Stacks going up. Oh, jumps over the top, lands on his feet. Oh, he grabs his knee. Ah, gets driven back into the corner. Is Stacks Reggie, said Kim's Chain. No, no. That was Scripps. I can see why you would think that from the name. Oh! 1, 2, 3. Obafemi gets the dub. The sweet, sweet dub. Let's start a poll. Match score. Let's go. All time. Great. Goods. That's Daze, Tatum and Lyra do look like a goods couple. I definitely envisage Lyra being the dominant one. Right. We've got Brinley and Carmen. Brinley says she doesn't know what she's going to do. Oh, here's Ashanti with a rose. Do you need a shoulder to cry on? I'm right here for you, baby. I think he does a good job, actually. No, he's got the old puppy eyes. He's got the rose. He's got the bum bag. He's got everything you want. Yeah. Yeah, what's wrong with Eddie Thorpe? Why did Eddie Thorpe have to interfere then? What's that about? Eddie Thorpe's like, oh, what you trying to, this is what you're doing now. Well, yeah, if that's what he wants to do, hit on some girls. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you to come barging in whilst he's doing his thing, you know? He'll move from Eddie Thorpe there. I'm with Ashanti. I think Ashanti's my spirit animal. Right. 68%, 21%, 7%, 3%. That was good 97% for Stacks and Ober. Now we've got Jasmine. I do like that. I do like that from Jasmine. I do like her entrance. Come here. I want to show you something. I want to tell you something. Come here. Come here. Change my mind. Commercial break. Mitchell said, Daze, we haven't gotten a proper banger yet. This has been a very angle-heavy NXT. But is Fatal Attraction just a knockoff Toxic Attraction? Yeah-ish. Ish. It's 3 girls, isn't it? I mean, I don't know who the leader of this one's meant to be. Is it JC? Is it Fallon? JC and Fallon feel quite similar to me. You know, Toxic Attraction, Mandy was the leader, and the other 2 were boomers in the background. But this one, the dynamic feels a little different at the moment. So, yeah, Fatal Influence, Toxic Attraction, 3 girls. But there is definitely a little difference there. Tali said, what do you think about Odyssey getting released? Well, I don't know that he has. I mean, it looks like he has, but I don't know that he has. There's only one report that I've seen which says that he's been released, and that is from Brian Alvarez. But the fact that no one else has come forward and said, or from what I've seen, no one else has come forward and said that he has been fired. I don't know. How can Fightful not find that information out? So, I don't know. I would say that it looks like he has, but at the moment there's only one person saying it. So I'm still a bit like, ooh. That's what I'm like. What happened to Gigi? What did happen to Gigi? Where's she gone? Is she injured? I actually don't know. What did happen to Gigi? Gigi Dolan. Why has Gigi been absent? Dolan was sidelined with a torn ACL. There is no timeline for her return. ACL injuries have kept many talents out of action. When did she suffer that, though? She's not wrestled since March. She was involved in a feud with Ariana Grace. That's true, actually. She was. Do you remember? She was trying to make her a woman. Like a lady. There is no timetable for Gigi Dolan's return. Many women wrestlers are out with ACL injuries. The 27-year-old is dealing with a serious knee injury. Oh, there we go. She's been in NXT since 2021. She appeared in the Mae Young Classic in 2018. Is that enough info for you, eh? What do you want? Blood. People believe what Alvarez says James. I don't know him as really like a source. I know him as someone that talks about the news, but he doesn't really ever report things. So that's why I'm like, it's one of those where you mention it, you know. So Odyssey's been removed from the online roster, and Brian Alvarez is reporting that he's been fired. So clearly it doesn't look good. But I don't know outright that he is definitely 100% gone. Right. We've only got 15 minutes left, and then we've also got like a little overrun. Javon wants to see his name on the Heritage Cup. I went pretty deep in the speed tournament. I main evented Heatwave. And I just beat Joe Coffey. This is starting to sound like a job interview, says Javon. And I've never had a job before. Oh my God, she's giving him one. Ava! Did you hear Javon running off calling for Ava because he's just got a Heritage Cup match? Ava! He knows that's going to play well on X. He knows. He knows. He knows. He's only 12 and he knows. He knows that's going to trend. And he's right. That's why he's the young OG. Ava! Charlie is frustrated that Ren gave Javon a Heritage Cup match. She's a nightmare, this girl, isn't she? Ah. Right. Here is Jada Parker making her way to the ring. It would have been nice, actually, if, like, we had an announcement there of, like, recently competed for the NXT Women's Championship at NXT No Mercy, Jada Parker. I mean, that was a big thing for her to actually make it to a PLE and compete for the Women's Championship. Like, it's just a bit of a shame that she just gets, like, here's Jada Parker now, you know? Representing OTM, Jada Parker. Like, I think they should do that. Recently competed for the NXT Women's Championship at No Mercy. Ladies and gentlemen, Jada Parker. Yeah. She was brilliant the other night. She was brilliant in that match with Rock, and then that would allow like them to talk about it. She was brilliant in that match. Crowd would applaud a bit more as well, and it would feel a bit bigger. And I don't know, and they won't do it though, will they? The cowards. Right, we're underway. I need to change this over. We're all out of date. Jasmine versus Jada. Daze, do you think Trans Gabby former Tyler Rex could join the women's division of Pure Fusion Collective? I don't think so. How old is Tyler Rex now? Or Gab? I don't know what the new name is. 45, no. TikToker? Listed as a TikToker now. Retired professional wrestler. So no. Right. Kick coming in there by Jasmine. It's funny that both of these girls are former soccer players. Oh, are they? I didn't know that. Shots coming in. Against the ropes goes Jada. Drop kick. Jasmine with a smile on her face. She goes over and what did she do there? A little bop on the head of Jada. Jasmine goes over. Lands on Jada. 1, 2. Kick out. Kick out. Why bother with the new name? They are just Toxic Attraction 2.0, says A.B. Johnson. Is Jasmine wearing Valentine's gear? No, I never saw Greg the Hammer Valentine wearing that, mate. I never saw him wearing that. The Hammer. He tended to wear just little black trunks and, I mean, honestly, it would be pretty wild if she was wearing Greg the Hammer's attire, to be honest. He only tended to wear little black trunks. Right now, she's on the back of Jada. Oh, on the shoulders. Elbows coming in by Jasmine. Shot to the back. Jada goes down to one knee. Days looking back, do we think that Sammy benefited from ending the 600-day title reign? I mean, I wasn't keen on it at the time. I want him to go for a world title, and I think he's ticked the Intercontinental. It's weird how he's talking about how people have won the IC title and then moved on to the World Heavyweight title. He won the IC title years ago. Years ago. It's as if we've erased his past. And it's like, he's won the IC title this year for the first time, but he's won it loads of times in the past. So it was not a direction I wanted him to go. But listen, if it's now got him, like, you know, competing for a world title, then that's good. But don't think any of us are expecting him to win that. I love the little step thing she does. This match is good, said Daniel. Days, I'm the real winner of Jada Jasmine, said A.B. Jobson. We all are, buds. We all are. Oh, no. Roll through. 1, 2. No, kick out. Daze, have you got a favourite sports team, says Carmen Live. My favourite sports team are the Chicago White Sox, the Chicago Bears, the Chicago Bulls, and the Chicago Blackhawks. I can see a theme. 2, 3, boom, done, pin. Done. It's a win for Jada. Oh, and she gets jumped. She gets jumped. Fatal attraction. All jumping Jada. Who's going to come to Jada's aid? Is anyone going to come to Jada's aid? No. No. Seemingly no. Where's OTM? Can't they come out and help? I know they can't, like, throw shots, but can't they just, like, you know, diffuse the situation? Oh, look at that Pele kick, man. She's so good at that Pele kick. Jasmine. Yep. Nope. Who came to Jada's aid? Literally nobody. Literally nobody. To answer your question, I support England football team. I support, well, England at everything, of course. Man United and Stourbridge. And Birmingham in the cricket. There we go. Next week, last man standing match. I think Chad or someone should have been turned into a big star and got the Gunther run, said Big Time. Gunther's not the right kind of heel for Sammy. Underdog stories don't work if half the people don't want Gunther to lose, said Mr. Unfamiliar. Here she is. Here she is. Roxanne. God, that song's been around for ages, isn't it? I'ma make you fall in love. What's happening Friday? A familiar threat returns. Solo. Solo. How will the American Nightmare respond to the threat that has emerged? Guys, we are going to be watching that show. Don't know if you're around, but we will be watching that show. Good 95. AB said Jada might need to get rid of the hip check or make it a signature. Charles said that was a nice ass match. Literally. Akeem said, I love that game, Hungry Hungry Hippos. I think we still have it. Mitchell said, if you had to choose a board game, what board game would you choose? Do you know what, Mitchell? Do you know what? I've told this story before, but we played Cluedo last year for the first time. Like, all the family were over, and I don't know why. We were like, should we play a board game? Like, because there was nothing on TV. And we ended up playing Cluedo, which we never do as a family. I could not give you another example of when that has ever happened as a family, right? Do not think that is us. It was weird. It came out of nowhere. It happened. I very quickly realised that Cluedo, or Clue as you call it, is hot garbage. Like, it really sucks. So I really went down a rabbit hole of looking at what board games are available. And so I really went on a voyage of discovery when it came to board games. So I ended up buying Catan. I don't know if you've ever played Catan. Oh, God, it's a really good game, you know. I really like it. It's got good, like, strategy. I like the mechanics to it. It's quite easy to understand. But there's loads of, like, different stuff you can do with Catan. I think it's one of those games that doesn't take too long to learn. And then when you're, like, playing it, like, it's good. It's enjoyable. Like, I really like it. So, Catan, definitely. And then I bought a game called Wingspan, which everyone was raving about. And that's more complicated, and it's all to do with, like, birds. which is not my kind of thing, but everyone was raving about it, and it's all right. It's all right. It's about like building the best bird collection, which sounds boring, but the mechanics of it are quite fun actually. But I'm not sure I'd recommend it. I'd recommend Catan. I think that's an excellent game. So I would recommend that. And then I bought a war game because I love war, because of me being in a gang. And it was called Undaunted. And I really recommend that. That is great. That is really good. So Undaunted, I would say check that out. It's a two-player. It's a two-player game, Undaunted. Catan is, well, you want 3 or 4 really for that. And I was trying to find a good like solo game, and depends what you want really. I love Wingspan, said Manuel. It's a good game. It's a good game. It's just I don't know. I'm not crazy about the theme. I'm not into birds. And I think you could have done it with, like, you know, change the token. Like, if it was Marvel, I mean, if it was wrestling, imagine if they did like a wrestling themed version of Wingspan. Like, I reckon you could do something really good there. So, but you know, they've gone with birds and it works. Big Time said, Daze, Styles, Logan, Solo, Owens. How do we rate Cody's title reign? Well, I think it's difficult to judge because I think that the matches have been really good. I mean, if you look at the 2 AJ matches and you look at his match with Kevin Owens, I mean, I wasn't keen on the Logan one. The Solo one was all right. It was really just to bring Roman back, wasn't it? So, but I think if you look at the quality of the matches, I think they're really good. But just at no point has his title felt in danger, and that has been a hindrance. And the build for them has not been the best. I think that Cody is doing everything he can to make this work, but the creative is just not good enough. The creative is just really dull. And it sort of feels like a step down from Roman. So I feel sorry for Cody. I really do. I feel sorry for him. Right, Roxanne is coming out. Let's see what we're going to get here, shall we? Are we getting Giulia? And is she going to say some words? Come on, Giulia. Come on, Giulia. We love you, Giulia. Love you, Giulia. Giulia, Giulia, Giulia. Roxanne in the ring. She's still got that championship. Extraordinary. I'm betting you guys are sick of seeing this. Defeat tastes so much worse. Yeah, she might have slapped the taste out of my mouth, but defeat tastes so much worse. Io Sky. Io Sky, Asuka, I am smashing all of your records. I don't know that. I don't know she is, you know. Giulia's here now. The main roster can't stop talking about Roxanne. There's a slight Giulia chant. Okay. So Roxanne says she's the most wanted woman in all of NXT. So she says, no one has got the ability to take this championship from me. And this is where we're waiting for Giulia. Doesn't matter if you're the hottest free agent. Trying to steal my shine. When the smoke clears. So, oh, here we go. The lights go out. The lights go out. Chelsea Green? What? Chelsea Green? Hey? No, mate. No, mate. Was you expecting someone else? Rhetorical question. Why does this section smell like mildew and BO? Wow. That came out of nowhere, man. I like this. I like this. She'll do well in NXT for a bit. And listen, I think we're stacking this, getting ready, you know, building towards that move. We've had Lyra on the show. Now we got Chelsea on the show. Giulia's going to be coming in. We've always got Steph that we can pull the trigger on. I don't mind this. I don't mind this. Here I am, my little fun-sized champ. No flavor, Ava. Oh, the lights have gone again. Ah, did they just swerve us? Oh my God, I think they did, you know. I think they swerved us with Chelsea. Is this Giulia now? Oh, I think it is. Oh, it is. Oh, she is here. Oh my God, the aura. Oh, the aura. Oh, oh, look at the aura. Oh, look at the petals. Do you remember we mentioned the petals? We were like, she should have petals falling behind her. And she has. What is that? Like cherry blossom or something? I don't know what it is. But it looks awesome. Dude, I'm going to so find that comment of me saying she should have petals falling behind her when she comes. Giulia has made her way down. Edge of the ring. Yes. Yes. Giulia is at the Performance Center for the first time. And she steps inside the ring. Chelsea Green is having a few words with Giulia. Oh, boom! Big shot there by Giulia and a knee. Chelsea goes down. I like that. They took us down that road. I still don't mind Chelsea Green being in. Still don't mind Chelsea Green being in. Giulia, Giulia, Giulia. Look at Giulia looking over at Roxanne, smile on her face. She's grabbing her microphone. This is so good. Me, you, CW. Me, you, CW. I think that means crazy weekend. Me and you, crazy weekend. We can go shopping. We can go to the restaurant. Yeah, man. Giulia Roxanne. CW Network. Yeah, man. That was good. That was good. Chelsea's dead. Chelsea was a lot of fun for a few minutes, said Austin. Giulia has fun-sized yummies, said Erase Your Mind. The less words, the better, says Neil. It means Chelsea whooped, said Hulk Hogan is the greatest. Chelsea looks brilliant, said Dro. Crazy Weekend is better than CW Network, said George Vlogs. Well, I think so. Giulia's aura is unmatched. That's almost a month away. Yeah, but that's all right. That's all right because it's given us something to build towards, isn't it? So, God, that's loud. So, we know. So now she can, like, turn up and have it promos, and there won't be the question of, oh, you know, if she's not on the show next week, it's not like, oh, what are we doing with Giulia? What are we doing with Giulia? I thought we were going to do something. We know what's happening with her. Oh, Giulia's only got a backstage promo. They've given up on her. I love that Chelsea got lots of love today, said Jim. Well, she's great, and she's spoken about wanting to come down to NXT. I think she just wants to go wherever there's opportunity in WWE. So listen, if there's nothing on the main roster right now, she'll go to NXT and, well, give me a run with the title there. So actually, when she came walking out, that's what went through my head. I was like, oh, are they doing that? Are they going to put the belt on her for a little bit? Perhaps we're going to use that as a way of delaying the belt going on to Giulia. Perhaps we don't want to put the belt on Giulia straight away. But it was a swervy swerve, and then we brought Giulia out, and now we're getting a match on the CW network, and it's like, it's all happening. What we doing with Giulia? Oh, I think we're putting her in a title match. Whether she wins it, though, you know, she might not. Perhaps we don't want to go too big too soon, you know. The money is in the chase. That first show on C-Dub is going to be unmissable. Yes. Blue Will said this week I'm going to give it a... It's gone. Joe says an 8 for that. Tyler, shout out to you. Appreciate the support, buds. Appreciate everyone joining us. I'm going to run away and start compiling Unseen. Ideally, I'd like to get it up about probably just after about 4 UK time. So Giulia has more aura than the entire NXT women's roster combined. It's awesome, isn't it? Awesome. Yeah, I thought that show was all right. I think that the matches kind of needed to be stronger, but that was a great ending. And honestly, it didn't feel like it dragged for me, this show. Sometimes I could be sitting here like, oh, I'm just not feeling this. But I was pretty dialed in all throughout, actually. So, and I think it helped having Lyra appear and, you know, Javon being in a match, Trick against Pete Dunne. So there was just constantly little things that just kept my attention. And I don't think this was too bad at all, actually. And then that was a great ending. I love that, so... Right, I'm going to run away, but thank you for joining us. Appreciate the support. I will get an Unseen up within the next hour, hopefully so. Thanks for watching. Have a good evening. Bye for now.